Well, hey there, how's it going? This is Seth from REtipster.com, and in this video, I wanted to give you a really good overview of a course that we launched called the Beginner's Deal Finding Guide. And the reason I wanted to make this video was, first of all, just to explain what the course is, what you get, and really who it's made for, and also just to clarify what it isn't. Because really, in the history of REtipster.com, one of the big things that I've talked about a lot on the blog and on YouTube and in podcast interviews and things like that is the land investing business. That's kind of been like my core focus, but that's not really what this course is for. So if you're somebody who wants to get into the land investing business, if that's the main thing you're after, I think you'll find it probably interesting and helpful, but this really isn't meant to be a land investing course. What this course is all about is how to find amazing high equity deals in every other type of real estate investing strategy you can imagine. And land is included in that. But again, like if you know that land is the number one thing you're after and nothing else, there's a better solution for you, and that is the Land Investing Masterclass. I've actually got a separate video and blog post explaining what that is all about. But in this video, I just want to very clearly explain what the Beginner's Deal Finding Guide is all about, so that you can draw your own conclusions on whether this is the thing for you, depending on what you're looking for, what stage you're at, and really what you need. And the reason we decided to make this course is because just personally, when I was a beginner, this was like the biggest thing that was holding me back. It was the biggest stumbling block, the biggest thing that I wasted the most time on was trying to figure out where and how to find really good deals that came with a ton of free equity, like deals that had so much value in them on the day of closing that like it was almost impossible not to make a profit. And this is actually very doable in any kind of market if you know where to look. And usually you have to look where nobody else is looking, or at least where the masses of people are not looking. And in this course, which I put together with Jaren Barnes, and Jaren really kind of took the lead on this course, we talk about all the different ways we have experience with that have been highly effective at finding deals. And the reason Jaren's involvement is significant in this is because Jaren actually spent years working for one of the biggest house wholesaling companies in Indianapolis, and he has done hundreds of transactions. He knows a lot about how to find great deals that are kind of flying under the radar that a lot of other people don't know about. So he brings a lot of knowledge to the table on this subject too. So really what I wanted to show you here is what you get. On the other side of this course, once you sign up, you're going to see something like this. And this course is broken up into 3 modules. And that might not sound like a lot, but there's actually a ton of stuff baked into each one of these modules. And the reason we did it this way is to sort of start by explaining the motivated seller psychology. Why do motivated sellers exist, and what leads a person to being more than willing, if not happy, to sell their property at a huge discount? Because once you understand what kinds of situations these people are in and why they're in this predicament, it makes it a lot easier to know where and how to find them, and really how to have these conversations with them and meet them at their level and understand what's going on. So really this first module is just understanding why these motivated sellers exist, and then also overcoming some of the mental battles that some of us go through in our own head of like, are we taking advantage of people? Is it wrong to make low offers? And it really just breaks down the mental barriers that I think a lot of us, if we have a conscience, have to wrestle with a little bit. It sort of helps assign responsibility to the right person. It really just allows you to pursue deals from the right frame of mind. And then also this lesson right here about understanding motivated sellers is where I just take you through a lot of the different situations and reasons why motivated sellers exist, what they're going through, and really how you can use that information to then start going out and finding them. Now in module 2, this is where we talk about what we call time-oriented strategies. And what we mean by that is these are the strategies that don't cost a whole lot of money to do, but they do take a lot more time. And then in module 3, we talk about money-oriented strategies. And this is sort of the opposite, where these don't take nearly as much time to do, but they do require a bigger budget to do them. And the reason I think this is important is because it kind of depends on where you're coming from and what your situation is. Just speaking for myself, I had access to very, very limited funds when I was getting started. So in my case, I would have been highly interested in these time-oriented strategies because I did have the time and I was willing to put in the work. I just didn't have a whole lot of money to work with. However, when I look at my situation today, it's definitely different where I don't have nearly as much time, but I do have more money. So the goal of this module is to help you understand how you can most effectively put your marketing dollars to work in a way that you're not just throwing money down the drain, but you're really being smart with how you're spending that money so that you can pull the most opportunities out of the money that you decide to spend. And then I'll also say something that's kind of interesting about both the time-oriented and the money-oriented strategies is that some of these are easier for an extrovert to do, and others are easier for an introvert to do. And what I mean by that is, if you're somebody who likes spending time on the phone, if you like shaking hands and talking to people, then you're probably going to gravitate towards certain ones of these over others. And then likewise, if you're an introvert, if you don't really like spending tons of time on the phone, or if you just don't want to talk to people and you'd rather just deal with spreadsheets and computers and numbers all day, then there's definitely going to be some of those here that you'll gravitate towards as well. And I actually put together this little chart for you that I think might be kind of interesting and helpful. This thing is actually still a work in progress. It's not finished yet, but I wanted to just show it to you in this video to kind of help you understand. These are all the different strategies that are covered in the course with pretty in-depth video tutorials and lots of downloads and other helpful information to explain how it all works and how you can implement it. But this chart just kind of shows if you're an introvert or an extrovert, and or if you're somebody who does have money or if you don't have money. These are where each one of those strategies fall on the spectrum. So if I'm somebody who does have money but I am an introvert, these ones down here are probably the ones that I would want to focus on. Or if I'm somebody who does not have money but I do have time, and if I am an extrovert, then these ones up here are probably more in line with my talents and natural skills. So anyway, this is something that I think you might find helpful. And just to show you quick what you can expect with some of these lessons, so let's dive into this one right here, the MLS multiple offer strategy. So this particular lesson it's got 3 videos in it, got a couple downloads you can take as well. And it really just dives deep into one specific strategy where you just scour the MLS and you can send out a bunch of offers. And we've got a template and a calculator here you can use for that as well. We show you how to do that on Zillow, and you can also use this same kind of thing on other websites like Redfin or Realtor.com if you wanted to. And we really just show you from end to end how to do that and how that works.
Let's talk about the MLS multiple offer strategy. This strategy is pretty tedious in nature, but one potential benefit is that you're not actually dealing directly with any motivated sellers. So if you're an introvert or you don't like speaking on the phone, this strategy could be a great fit for you. One of the major requirements in order for this strategy to work is that you have to have access to the multiple listing service, or MLS for short, in the market that you do business in. The MLS is the database of all active and sold on-market real estate properties for a given metropolitan area. So that means that for this strategy, you either have to become a licensed realtor yourself or work with one who will implement this strategy on your behalf. Now, as a heads up, each state comprises of several different MLS databases. They are all tied to different metropolitan areas and come with their own unique set of membership fees. So if your goal is to branch out to several different markets quickly, you may run into issues when it comes to scaling. If that's not an issue though, and you do the majority of your business within one major metropolitan area, great. This could be a fantastic way to get deals. So how does it work exactly? Each MLS database is going to vary slightly in terms of design and functionality, but each one will offer its own version of a feature that allows you to set up a search with predetermined criteria.
So there you go. Jaren goes on a little bit more and explains the specifics of how it works. But really, even beyond that, we actually have some, on-hand tutorials where we go through exactly what is involved with this. So this is one that I put together here. Hey guys, what's up? This is Seth, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the multiple offer strategy, where you go out and find a bunch of different property owners or property listings on the MLS through a website like Zillow, or if you're a realtor, or if you have MLS access in some way, shape, or form, you could even do this through the MLS system. That's kind of a different way to do it. And you basically set up a very specific filtering criteria based on the exact types of properties you're looking for. And once you get all these properties in front of you, you just make offers to everybody. And all the offers are going to be pretty low, but it's a numbers game. And the whole idea is to just get as many offers out there into the hands of the direct owners, if it's for sale by owner, or into the hands of their agent, if it's listed by a realtor. And you're just trying to get as many offers out there as possible, knowing that many of them will not work out, the people will not accept them, but all you need to do is get a handful of those people to say yes. So as you can see, these videos go on much further than that. But one of the things I also want to point out about this is that our goal in this course is not to push you towards one strategy or another. Our goal is really to help you understand what is involved with each one of these, because all of them work across the board. There are people out there who have found success in each one of these individually, but that doesn't mean there aren't, inherent challenges with each one. So when there are things about these that are kind of drawbacks or things that aren't fun about them, we're going to tell you about that. We're not going to paint some rosy picture yeah, this is perfect. Just do this and all your problems will be solved, because there's trade-offs with everything out there. And kind of going back to this chart, again, that's why we set this course up the way that we did, was so you can kind of figure out, okay, this is my situation. And even when you understand your situation and you pick a strategy or two that aligns very well with what you're naturally gifted at, even then there's going to be challenges, but you'll be fighting less of an uphill battle when you start by doing what you know you're good at. And also keep in mind, you don't have to limit yourself to only your own gifts and strengths. If you're able to partner with other people who happen to be really good at things you're not good at, you can always divide and conquer and use your individual strengths to come together and make deals happen that way. But really the idea with this course is not to give you an end-to-end business model where it's we're going to teach you everything there is to know about wholesaling houses, from finding the deal to closing the deal to listing and selling the deal, and on and on. This really focuses on one single thing, and that is simply, how do you find deals? Because this really is the biggest roadblock for most investors, especially when they're starting out, and especially when you're working in a super competitive market where it's really hard to find deals. So the idea with this course is not to dive super deep into one specific real estate investing model. The idea is to go wide on one issue that applies to every real estate investing model. So no matter what kind of real estate investing you're doing, you're going to find some value here. But again, just to reiterate on the land investing model specifically, if that is the single thing you're most interested in, I wouldn't start with this course. I would start with our land investing masterclass, because it dives really deep into the one marketing strategy for finding deals that works best with that specific business model. And it doesn't talk about any of these other things, because for land investing specifically, a lot of these other options just aren't the best use of your time, honestly. And we do cover a lot of that direct mail stuff in the deal finding guide as well. So it's all here. You'll probably find a little bit of duplicate content between the land course and the deal finding guide. But if land is the number one thing you're after, I think there's a better option that we have available. And if you're not interested in the land business, if that's not what you care about, then this is probably a much better fit for you, especially if you're a beginner, you've never done a deal before, or maybe you've done a deal and you got lucky, but you're not sure how to replicate that and keep finding more and more deals. This will give you a lot of value, and there's going to be a ton of stuff you can find here, along with, even beyond these tutorials, a lot of different downloads you can use for your business as well. For example, in the ad posting directory lesson, you can download the ad posting kit, which gives you a lot of different images and listing examples you can use to literally copy and paste it onto a lot of ad directories out there. This is stuff that would have been insanely helpful to me back when I was getting started, if only I had had access to it. And then also the Driving for Dollars lesson here. In addition to the couple of video tutorials we have, you can also download the postcard templates package, which is another item that normally sells for $150 on the REtipster blog, but you can get it for free right here in this lesson. So there's a lot of little hidden Easter eggs here in this course if you decide to jump into this. And again, you know your situation, you know who you are and what you're interested in. If you're somebody who's been struggling to find great deals out there, you're not sure where to look or how to do it or what to implement, this is going to show you pretty much everything you need to know. And some of these strategies are probably going to be things you've heard about before, but other ones are going to be ones you probably haven't heard about before. Like, for example, ringless voicemail drops and some of these guerrilla marketing tactics. And even beyond what they are, it's how to actually do it. Like just in direct mail, for example, there are so many different ways to execute a direct mail campaign. Everything from where you get the list, to how you filter the list, to what you say in your mail piece, what kind of mail piece you send out, what you tell your recipients to do when they get it. There is so much that goes into it, and we really don't leave any of those stones unturned. So again, this is really intended for beginners who are looking for deals and need help in that department. If that's you, I think it's probably worth checking out. And if you do have any follow-up questions about this, feel free to reach out to me directly, Seth@REtipster.com, and I or my assistant would be happy to help answer any questions for you. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped answer any questions you might have about the course. And if you have more questions that I didn't answer here, feel free to leave them as a comment beneath this video, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll talk to you again soon.